There's something indeed strange going on, my friends. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We're going to get into a ton of stuff. As usual, in this video, we got a billionaire funding a director, a well-known director, to make a historically accurate version of the Odyssey to take on the one that Christopher Nolan created. We'll get into that story. Well, it's potential. It sounds like he wants to do it. We'll get into that story. We got a ton of other stuff to get into as well. We got also some other shenanigans surrounding the movie, The Odyssey. We'll get into that. We got also a ton of other stories to get into with Taco Bell. We'll get into that. We got a bunch of insane stuff. All right. We got Karens. We got this crazy story about junkyards. They may not allow engines that are over 15 years old to be allowed in junkyards anymore. We'll get into that story as well. And we got a ton of other stuff, including some stuff on AI and more. Let's just get going here. Let's start with talking about junkyards. She wanted to buy an old engine with her husband. They were told by the junkyard that the GOV is cracking down on old engines and mandating them to be destroyed. Perhaps this is just a state government. Maybe this is in California, or maybe this is in some other state. We don't know. Don't assume that it means like literally the entire United States, but it is interesting. The guy at the salvage yard said the GOV has told them they need to get rid of all the motors that are 15 years old. And if any new ones come in, instead of pulling them, they need to crush them. So crush the cars. I couldn't find anything about this publicly. Let's just check out what she had to say here.
I remember a couple months ago seeing those videos about junkyards, salvage yards magically catching on fire, kind of like everywhere across the U.S. Well, I am at a salvage yard in...
Yeah, there was like 9 of them, I think. Or maybe it was more than 9. They caught on fire, strangely. Earlier this... I think it was... Yeah, earlier this month.
Right now, because my husband needed a motor for his 2006 Chevy Silverado. And he was talking with the guys inside, and he came out and he's like, listen, he's like, because we're getting a really good price on this motor, by the way. He said, the guy at the salvage yard, said that the government has told them that they need to get rid of all of the motors that are 15 years old. And if any new ones come in, instead of pulling them, they need to crush them. Makes you really wonder, doesn't it?
So this is a wild claim, and a lot of people...
That is kind of weird. I don't think you can... Now, my neighbor, when I was growing up, when I was a kid, our neighbor literally had a junkyard. It no longer is one anymore, but I remember him crushing cars. Can they crush engines? I don't remember. I don't think you can. Don't you have to pull the engine anyways? Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see what he says here.
Comments agree that something like this could definitely happen because the government is our greatest enemy. Let's just take a look at who this woman is, or more where she is. So she doesn't list her state, but if you look at her tabs down here, you can see that she has a Texas property tab. So most likely she's in Texas, which is strange because this is a conservative state, so you would think...
Well, Texas has a lot of weird stuff going on in it. They got all these weird statues being built to Hindu gods and other weird... They got cities being taken, of course, over. Yeah, well, just because it's conservative-ish doesn't mean it is. Or perhaps the devil, or whoever, whatever you want to call it, those in charge, trying to change it to what they want it to be, or trying or attempting to, just like what happened in California. What was it, back in the 60s? When at one point it was conservative? Now it's completely liberal, and it's like, seems almost impossible to change it into anything other than what it currently is. I think they're trying to do that with Texas maybe as well.
If something like this was going on, that she would not be impacted, it would be somewhere like Oregon or Washington.
Yeah, you'd think like California or Oregon, or maybe Michigan or something. Like, I grew up in Michigan. They're kind of a liberal state. But I'm not really super surprised. I could see this being theoretically the case. The Odyssey, we got, of course, everyone talking about what's going on with Rotten Tomatoes. Why is it showing this insanely high rating for the movie, yet you had the trailer with literally 10 times as many thumbs down? On the third trailer, 800,000 thumbs down, 80,000 thumbs up. Yet for some reason, Rotten Tomatoes, 97% popcorn meter. We got a lot of people commenting on this. saying something is awry. Of course, someone pointed out, and I'm going to show you in a minute here, NBC happens to have a stake in the company that created the movie and also owns partially by extension Rotten Tomatoes. You have here Metacritic showing it actually at a 5.1 out of 10. What's interesting is you have the metadata from Rotten Tomatoes showing almost that exact same number. I'll show you that in a second here. Who owns Rotten Tomatoes? It's owned by Fandango Media, which is a joint venture primarily owned by NBC Universal. I go down and ask, does NBC have a stake in the company creating the Odyssey movie? Yes, NBC Universal co-owns one of the main production companies behind Christopher Nolan's blockbuster film, The Odyssey. They seem to own both. That's kind of weird. Of course, there's no funny stuff going on, though, right? You have here, on top of that, people are accusing Rotten Tomatoes of not allowing and also deleting bad reviews of the movie. I've tried to leave a review 2 different times now since seeing the movie on Thursday night. He couldn't leave one. A lot of people saying this online, particularly people have large followings. You got this really interesting stat here that seems to correlate quite well with Metacritic. Rotten Tomatoes says The Odyssey has a 97% audience score. The raw JSON data proves it's actually 56% according to Reddit, which fits with what Metacritic says. Let's go look at that real quick. You have here the data properly reveals it's 56%. This discrepancy comes down to how RT creates verified audience score versus all audience score, the background push versus pull, 2019. Rotten Tomatoes used a poll mechanic. An unverified user had actively decided to leave a review, log in, or create an account, navigate to the movie page, and submit their rating. So apparently, anything that's not verified, quote unquote, is not counted. 56%, a little bit different than 97%. I finally got my camera to work right. It was like kind of blurry for some reason. At any rate, so you get the idea with what's going on with that. Now we got sort of some interesting new news to get into with regards to this. Some people are so unhappy about this movie, they're talking about making their own version. And we're talking a billionaire and a top director with massive hit movies in the past. All right, we're talking about Mel, of course, Gibson, and Elon. We'll get into that story in a moment. We're going to get into actually a number of other things as well, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. First of all, I got to mention food supply, 25-year shelf life. Link is in the description. They have lots of different options available. Might want to get ready for the robot apocalypse. I'm being sarcastic. Well, actually, maybe I'm not, because I got some stuff to show you at the end of the video as well. You might want to get prepared for whatever might be next. You got this book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity. What if you end up having to live out in the mountains? What if you have an extended period of time without power? You're going to definitely need this book. It's a lifesaver, $37. Get the printed version, linked below. Let's get back to the video. Also, check out all of my other social media link below. You have here, Democrats lose another iconic rapper to president. Rapper Lil Wayne just said he's so glad our president is building a ballroom. This is kind of interesting what he had to say. Check this out.
Vice President Kamala. Oh, yeah. I had to perform like probably like 2 years ago at the White House.
Oh, wow.
But I'm so glad to hear Trump say, when they was mad at him about building a ballroom, and he was like, because everything we do, we have to do it on the damn lawn. Yeah. So people who don't know nothing hearing that thinking he just being, no, for real. I was glad to hear him say that, because when I got there and had to perform, I was like, why is it in the back? I was like, what? I was like, I can't go in? I like, so what I can't? I like, so they don't want me to, what, this is a backyard barbecue? Yeah. No, that's literally where they do everything at. Yeah.
So that's crazy, man. Actually, the only performances they could do is literally on the front lawn. Now they got a ballroom, they can actually do other performances there as well. You have Elon here talking about $100 million to back Mel in creating his own version, a historical version of the Odyssey. If you saw what he did with the movie Apocalypto, he literally hired people that were native to that area who actually spoke Mayan. He literally hired the people that looked the same, that spoke the same, trying to make it as realistic as possible. And of course, you have here I want Elon to give Mel $100 million to film an Odyssey adaptation with painstakingly historically accurate ships, armor, weapons, and casting, with all dialogue taken straight from the original poem and delivered in Homeric Greek. And he said, I'm down. And that actually would be pretty interesting considering the guy's a trillionaire. I think he could handle $100 million. But yeah, it's a little bit of money to him. To you and I, it's like an insanely impossible amount of money. But to him, he has the money. And of course, imagine the Odyssey, spoken in ancient Greek, recorded with historically accurate armor. Greeks actually casted in the movie. No cringe rap videos. Actually loyal to the source material. That would be pretty awesome if they made it. We have here, of course, the movie Apocalypto that Mel created as well. Pretty amazing movie if you had ever seen it. Set in the time of the Mayans to maximize immersion. He had cast mostly indigenous actors from Yucatan region. He used the Mayan language, accurate costumes, realistic building techniques. Gibson's version of the Odyssey would likely use all Greek actors, would probably be done, the entire movie spoken in ancient Greek with full subtitles. That'd be pretty crazy, actually, to see that. And then you would have to ask about the fact that a lot of these people are very giant in the epic. If you actually look at sort of the historical or mythological nature of it, it'd be pretty awesome if you made it to be very accurate like that. Now, the one that Christopher Nolan made isn't bad, from what I understand. If you ignore the bad casting choices he used, and you ignore about 10 minutes of the movie, just cut that part out, the movie's pretty awesome. Obviously, he's a great director. That's why the movie's performing anyways, is because he's a great director. Everybody knows he's a great director, even though he did this extra step so he could technically get the awards. Because they have a guideline to their awards now that you have to have so many, Latinos, blah, 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 hired in, trans, et cetera, into your movie. So that's what he was doing. He was merely putting those tokens in so he could get an award. But it's ridiculous. I mean, he has no Greek actors. It's clearly misrepresenting some of the stuff from that time with regards to the armor and other things. It's just ridiculous they have these type of standards in the first place. So it would be awesome to see a very historically accurate one. Anyway, you got that story there. We got also this bakery in New York City, the Parisian Bakery. This woman spent $12 for a croissant. She's eating it. The delivery guy comes in. You can see he's bought an entire box of the same croissants that she's eating from Costco, dude. $12 Costco. I mean, my goodness, this is funny. Let's watch
I
this.
can't believe this. We're at this croissant, little cafe, and we got this pistachio croissant for $12. And I was like, this is insane for a price. And then I turn around, look at this. The delivery guy just came in. Oh my God, what's more? Croissants are from Costco. Costco. Absolutely insane. Insane. Don't come here. I don't recommend.
Right in front of the customers. So ridiculous, man. We have here also Taco Bell employee reporting they have no customers now because of this outbreak they had from lettuce. She knows the order screen and there's no dining or drive-through orders. Let's just check this out real quick.
In the video, it shows that she has just a couple doors.
Okay, I'm going to have to turn off this audio. I don't know what kind of music this is. I don't want to end up with some goofy copyright over nothing. No orders, as you can see on the screen there, 4 people or something. Nobody in the restaurant itself. And the reason why I'm putting this in here is because my mom actually got a stomach flu from, she thinks, Taco Bell, because it happened shortly after she went there. Can't verify it for sure, but she ended up getting the antibiotic from the doctor to combat this. I had the stomach flu 4 weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, and I do go to Taco Bell sometimes, but I didn't get that because I took no antibiotic and I got over it in a week or two. So that's probably just the norovirus, whatever they call it. My wife had something. One of my researchers, he got some really nasty stomach flu. Like everyone's getting stomach flu. It's not just this parasite one, because if you look at the stats, it's only 1 in 10 people who have stomach flu right now got it from that parasite thing. If you look at the stats for overall for the United States, but at any rate, you get the idea. It's just pretty ridiculous how many people have been getting it of recent. A lot of people are talking about that. You got this crazy story that just came out. A bear was spotted on top of a power pole in New Mexico. A worried witness calls and was told to leave it there. All right, check this out.
56.
Are you calling about a bear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's on the power pole.
Yeah, it's alive.
He's just chilling.
Yes, just leave it.
Okay.
And because I already called the Game and Fish, and they said there's nothing that they could do. They could go and shoot it, like tranquilize it to get it down, but...
Dude, he's just chilling up there. Obviously, he was able to climb up the pole. He seems to be just chilling out. Doesn't seem like he's freaking out or anything. He's just resting up there. Maybe he can get himself down. I'm assuming he can get himself down. Just kind of funny, man. All these crazy posts that come up every day. We got here a woman, a Karen, freaking out when a fuel truck driver slightly blocks her way at a gas station, not even noticing that she can easily get around it. Check this out. Let's play this clip really quick. All right, let's get this on the screen.
Really? You're being recorded. What's up? I'm here to do my
Karen
job.
alert.
This is feller.
You are in the way, sir.
I'm in the way.
Sir?
I'm delivering gasoline, man. You can just swing out
You
on me.
can do your fucking job better.
Oh, God.
He was saying you can just swing around me. You can just swing around to a little U here and get out.
Not that hard. You're being recorded, you fucking pants.
You're going to be reported for what? What is she going to report, man? Apparently, this happens a lot with these type of vehicles. There's a guy down here talking about how he had his vehicle run into. Where did that one go? I can't even find it now. Where did it go? I don't know. I can't find it now. There's a post where a guy was saying that he showed his truck and showed how someone ran into it. I can't even find it now. Maybe he erased it, or maybe it was in a different spot. I can't find. Yeah, you get the idea. This happens a lot. That's the thing with X, man. Someone puts a comment, you can't even find it like 5 minutes later. We have this other story here of a woman talking about junkyards. She wanted to buy an old engine with her husband. They were told by the junkyard that the GOV is cracking down on old engines and mandating them to be destroyed. Perhaps this is just a state government. Maybe this is in California, or maybe this is in some other state. We don't know. Don't assume that it means like literally the entire United States. But it is interesting. The guy at the salvage yard said the GOV has told them they need to get rid of all the motors that are 15 years old. And if any new ones come in, instead of pulling them, they need to crush them. So crush the cars. I couldn't find anything about this publicly. Let's just check out what she had to say here.
I remember a couple months ago seeing those videos about junkyards, salvage yards magically catching on fire, kind of like everywhere across the U.S. Well, I am at a salvage yard in...
Yeah, there was like 9 of them, I think. Or maybe it was more than 9. They caught on fire, strangely. Earlier this... I think it was... Yeah, earlier this month.
Right now, because my husband needed a motor for his 2006 Chevy Silverado. And he was talking with the guys inside, and he came out and he's like, listen, he's like, because we're getting a really good price on this motor, by the way. He said... the guy at the salvage yard, said that the government has told them that they need to get rid of all of the motors that are 15 years old. And if any new ones come in, instead of pulling them, they need to crush them. Makes you really wonder, doesn't it?
So this is a wild claim, and a lot of people in the...
That is kind of weird. I don't think you can... Now, my neighbor, when I was growing up, when I was a kid, our neighbor was literally had a junkyard. It no longer is one anymore, but I remember him crushing cars. Can they crush engines? I don't remember. I don't think you can. Don't you have to pull the engine anyways? Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see what he says here.
comments agree that something like this could definitely happen because the government is our greatest enemy. Let's just take a look at who this woman is, or more where she is. So she doesn't list her state, but if you look at her tabs down here, you can see that she has a Texas property tab. So most likely she's in Texas, which is strange because this is a conservative state, so you would think that...
Texas has a lot of weird stuff going on in it. They got all these weird statues being built to Hindu gods and other weird... They got cities being taken, of course, over. Yeah, well, just because it's conservative-ish doesn't mean it is. Or perhaps the devil, or whoever, whatever you want to call it, those in charge, trying to change it to what they want it to be, or trying or attempting to, just like what happened in California. What was it, back in the 60s? When at one point it was conservative? Anyway, you got that story there. We got also this guy talking about the AI bubble. I do think it is a bubble. I don't think it will take all the jobs. It might take, in the end, half of them. But I think it is a massive bubble. Check out what this guy had to say. Let's just play this really quick.
Fund and I are shorting the AI bubble. We've come to the conclusion that AI is totally unsustainable and actually a bit of a massive scam. You see, the people behind it are delusional. They say things like, oh, my large language model is hallucinating. That was an hallucination. No, it made a mistake, okay? The thing you're making made a mistake. The thing that cost £1 trillion to build out made a mistake. Because it's just predictive text. It's just autofill. That's all AI is. It's autofill like you have on your phone, except they've hooked it up to a bunch of GPUs in the desert, in Texas, and now they're calling it conscious. It's self-aware. It's not self-aware! It's not self-aware. You just made it so good at stealing information from the internet and regurgitating it back to you that now you believe that it's conscious. That is...
You know what? This is actually kind of what I was thinking as well. Like, I never thought that these AIs were self-aware. I thought that was complete BS. There's another thing that they keep trying to peddle that I think is complete BS as well. They try to tell you that you can upload your consciousness to the internet and live forever. No, you're not living forever. Just some random program that sort of maps what you kind of like may live forever, but not you. It's so dumb. This obviously, if you upload something to the internet, it's not you, right? Just like AI is not conscious. It's just a program designed to figure things out on its own.
So embarrassing. Everybody involved in AI is so embarrassing, and this crash is going to be the most embarrassing crash of all time. Anthropic, OpenAI, they haven't made a penny. They haven't.
Yeah, he's right. It's a circular market, and they're like, you know, they supply to NVIDIA. NVIDIA supplies them chips. It's a circle market. There's like nothing being made out of it yet. Obviously, guzzling all the water in your neighborhood, all your energy in your neighborhood. It's not doing anything. And you have to ask yourself, what the hell's going on? I mean, you jump on your phone, you ask a couple questions. Does that really require something that takes twice the power of your entire state and all the water? Does that make any sense? It sounds insane. So it clearly doesn't sound viable the way it is currently. It's kind of like the internet.com crash, I think in the 99. They thought, oh, this is the best thing ever. It's never going to crash. And then it crashed. I think the same thing's going to happen here. It's going to crash. Then they're going to rework it. But my concern is the people running AI also got a few, screws loose. I think we could safely say that, looking at some of the stuff they've done in the past, Antichrist seminars, kind of can't sit still in their chair because they're taking stuff, like Alex from Palantir. Like all these guys are like total clowns. You got Mark Zuckerberg. You got Sam Altman with all his weirdness. He has a sister suing him. It's like, what? These are the people running the future of our world? Like, this is like a joke. This is like Idiocracy or something, right? This is like all the movies that we saw put together by some guy that was drunk or something. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. And this is, they're showing stuff like this. This is AI. This video is AI. I'm pretty sure it is because of the way the treetops look. But they're actually using driverless delivery trucks in China now. And I mean, this is insane. This is funny right here. That thing has no engine or powerful motors, no room for large battery. Right. This is kind of funny. So it's obvious AI. They didn't even have this reader's note yesterday on this. I figured out it was AI just looking at it because the treetops look fake, look super fake. The treetops are completely fake. Although this does look a little bit like some of them. I showed some pictures. There are some that look kind of like that, but not exactly. And this one is just trying to mimic some of the other looks, but it doesn't do it right. And clearly there's not enough room for anything on it. But the other ones have like sort of like a computer box. Instead of being thin like that, it's like thicker. And it looks like a computer, like it has a computer on it or something, like some tower just sitting there running the thing. Then you got this weird story here. Look at these apocalyptic, he calls it zombie gates. All right. What are these gates for? Where is this at anyways? Let's just play this real quick.
One of the craziest things, you know, you come down here to Louisiana, and you get to see the zombie gates, as I like to call them. That's right. During the zombie apocalypse, you want them on one side, and these gates closed, and you on the other. Look at that wall.
Bro, it does look kind of like Resident Evil or something, except for there's nothing over here. Is there anything over there on that side? Yeah, there is. It goes directly this way. Okay, so it is. It's like a containment area.
You come down here to Louisiana, and you get to see the zombie gates, as I like to call them. That's right. During the zombie apocalypse, you want them on one side, and these gates closed, and you on the other. Look at that wall. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's weird. And they have a gate there on the back end. You saw it.
Apocalyptic zombie gates. That's right.
What the heck, man? Were they expecting something to happen there in Louisiana? Obviously, we had, what was it? The flooding in New Orleans. That was many years ago. Was that 15 years ago or something? I don't think it would be related to that. That wouldn't actually stop it. You would want to do it at the shoreline with like how they usually do it with the levees, right? So it looks kind of like Resident Evil, like with some sort of massive gate to stop something from getting out or in. What could that be? Good question. See if there's any comments down here. Nope, not really. Nothing on that. Wait, what's this one? No, zombies. All right. Yeah. At any rate, you got that story as well. We have also, I think that's about it, actually. I'm kind of wondering what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.